Okay, this is just a quick and dirty unboxing, eBay unboxing. As you can hear, I'm just using the microphone in my camera, or phone I should say. This should be a Dell C800 laptop running Windows 98. And as I go here, I'll kind of explain the methodology or the reasoning behind getting this laptop. As my regular listeners and viewers might know, I have an Atari ST, and supposedly, well, not supposedly, the ST is IBM compatible, but you need, I should rephrase that. The file system is theoretically IBM compatible, but you need like a go-between computer. You can't just use, for one thing, modern PCs don't have floppy drives. So, usually if you get into vintage computing, you find out what you need to have old computers interface reasonably well with modern computers is you need like an intermediary. You need something in between. A computer from an era in between, 1985 for the Atari ST and 2019 for a modern Windows 10 machine. So theoretically, this Dell C800 running Windows 98 on a Pentium 3, an 850 megahertz Pentium 3 processor, should be a good intermediary. So hopefully I should be able to use disks in the Atari ST, pop those disks out. They're single-sided double density disks. Pop them in an older computer like this running Windows 98, which still runs on top of DOS. That's important that MS-DOS be running underneath because there's a lot of functions and utilities you need to use for compatibility agreements between an old Atari ST and an IBM PC, and they can only run under true DOS. So Windows 98 was the last operating system, to my knowledge, there might be other stuff, that runs on top of DOS. Windows XP is its own OS. It does not need DOS underneath it. Obviously, neither does Windows 10 and Windows 8 and all that good stuff. So this should be a good intermediary. It has the floppy disk drive, just like the Atari ST. It should read Atari ST format disks, and more importantly, as I open this, not only does it have a floppy drive, but this is one of the first computers, late 90s computers, that had USB drives. It's USB 1.0, but any USB stick still should be backwards compatible with USB 1.0. So that means I can take, I shouldn't be ripping while I'm talking, ripping paper that is, not ripping butt. That means that I can take files off the floppy disk, put them on a USB stick, and then take that USB stick and put it in any modern computer to get text files and various things that I've made or written on the Atari ST. So that is sort of the rationale behind why I picked this up. It cost about $60. And if you know anything about vintage computing, things can get expensive. Old computers can get expensive. I see now that it does not, unless there's something else in the packaging, it doesn't have a CD-ROM drive. I'm not worried. Oh, it does on the side. Okay. So the extra expansion slot or bay is open for, another CD-ROM, another battery, another disk drive, whatever I'd want to throw in there. I don't need anything in there. The disk drive is over here, not the disk drive. Yeah, the optical disk drive is over here. I got the floppy drive, which is what I was after, and a couple of USB ports on the back, which he's taped up for some reason. A couple of USB 1.0 ports. That is going to help, so I can pop in the floppy disk, get my files off, transfer them to a USB stick, and then use that on any modern PC. All right, so let's look around this a little bit. I put the camera in auto mode, so it might autofocus. The Pentium 3 right there, decal, Dell Latitude. I'm not going into an in-depth review of this thing. I'm just kind of showing you the overlay of it and my reasoning why I got it. There's no reason why somebody in modern times would need one of these PCs other than an intermediary go-between from an early 80s PC, late 70s IBM or something like that, and a modern PC. So I can take files off the floppy from the Atari, put them onto a USB stick, and then put them on a Windows 10 device or a modern machine. So this is just kind of an overview of what I got here. This thing looks like it's in rough shape. As long as it works and powers on, I'll be happy. I don't care about aesthetics, cosmetics, or the fact that it's missing, you know, like a battery that can go in the expansion bay. Not worried about that. I'm not worried about battery at all. I'll just leave it plugged in. All I want is basically a file transfer system and a legacy machine to run DOS games or DOS applications, and that's what this should allow me to do. So I'm going to put down the camera and I'm going to try to power it up. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to power this on, or attempt to power this on for the very first time. Again, you're going along with me for the ride. So here we go. Does this thing actually, well, boot? Let's see if it boots into Windows 95. I may pause it if it takes too long. Windows 98, I'm sorry. Oh, good. Smoke test. Something on the screen there? Let's see. Invalid configuration information for setup. That's probably because the CMOS battery is dead. That's okay. But actually, I do want to go into setup and see what we're rocking here in the system. I'm gonna turn the lights down a little bit. Okay. Pentium 3, 850, 700. I guess that's the slow. Or did they have never mind. Here's the stats. System memory, 256 megabytes of RAM. Woot woot. Video controller is an ATI M4 with 16 megabytes of video memory. Audio controller Maestro 3. 30 gigabyte hard drive. Says disk, it's not installed, but it definitely is. That's not a problem. CD-ROM. Oh yeah, disk drive modular bay. Okay. So whatever, we'll just leave the time like that and boot into Windows. All right. Promising. Okay. Remember those LEDs on old laptops? Oh. What the heck? Okay. Just gonna close. Is that custom? That sounds custom to me. Alright, so we're in Windows 98 and it boots up pretty quick. So far I'm happy. Let me tinker a little bit and I will be right back. All I'm gonna do is test if the diskette drive works and if I can actually transfer files over to USB from it. So I'm gonna pause it real quick. Alright, let's see what we get here. Alright, it made a noise. That it sounds like the head went back to 0, I guess. My computer, it's been so long since I used Windows 98. My goodness. By the way, this is my first video in 4K, 60 FPS. Let's see if it can read the drive. I forget how I formatted this disk. It might be formatted single-sided with the tape over it. Let's see. Oh. Doing stuff. Alright. And there's no files. Let's make a text file and move that over to a USB. Let's name it butt. Open it. But for what? I think that's good as any. I'm so used to Control S. Anyways, let's just save it. Saving. That's good. Okay. So it's saved to the A drive. I'm going to close it and I'll be right back. I'm going to put a USB in there. The USB stick that I have is a USB 3, but it should be backwards compatible. Will you not focus? Whatever. Oh, there you go. 64 gig stick from Micro Center, of course. But I formatted it. I forced it to format to FAT32, so it should work theoretically in this system. Let's see if it does. If I can get it in there. It's hard to hold a camera and do stuff at the same time. Hiya. Ooh. Plug and play, remember that, baby? Plug and play. Dice turns makes our device. Okay, remember all this stuff? Remember actually having to do stuff when you plug new things in? Search for best driver. I don't know why it wouldn't have. It's not going to be on the floppy disk. Maybe it'll be in Dell drivers. Oh, okay, hold on. Hold on. It seems that I have to download some drivers for this, which is fine. The fact that I plugged in the USB and it recognized that it was plugged in was good. That's promising. That tells me that all I need is the right drivers and it should work just fine. So I'm happy with that. Mostly, again, I was just after that floppy disk, making that work, making sure that works. So far I'm pretty happy. I'll update you with anything else as it arises, anything interesting that might occur in my travels with this machine. But I think that's about it for now. So far, I am happy with the operation. I have not tested every single key on the keyboard. I have not tested a whole ton of things on here, but thus far, I am happy with the purchase. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. No, I do not recommend buying this thing in 2019 for any purpose other than you're just fascinated by different eras of computers. If you are fascinated by different eras of computers and want to buy this, I would suggest doing it sooner than later. Go look at how much old 286s and 386s and 486s cost. They are expensive. The stuff that we just threw in the trash in the late 90s, early 2000s, that stuff is hundreds of dollars now, and even thousands of dollars. So if you're interested in, even remotely interested in early or late 90s, early 2000s kind of machine like this, Windows 98, 2000, anything pre-XP, the sooner the better. The sooner the better, because these prices are only going to go up. I got this for $60 in this state. So good luck to you all. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one here on Geek Therapy Radio. Take care, everybody. Embrace your geek thing, and I'll see you next time.